Friends, I hope you're well. It is the weekend video here, kind of recapping what's going on here. I really want to tell you, these are two stocks, one of them especially, I think you should be loading the boat with. I really do mean that. From where we were, where we're going here with this market, like in the next 5 years, I think truly we're going to see people that have never made crazy gains in the market. They're going to be shocked at how much money they're going to make here, because essentially it's not just this secret anymore. It's, we have big money now directly going into tech stocks. We have, multi-millionaires, billionaires that we, investors, CEOs saying, listen, people should be putting everything they have right now into the stock market and in these AI companies, because they are going in, uncharted territory. I mean, Google, once again, just came out, Alphabet, they just came out with crazy quarterlies where, most people thought like, well, of course they're gonna come out with good quarterlies, but they crushed. It's just the money keeps getting heavier and heavier on tech, AI, however you want to slice it here. So with that, I do want to say this: I'm all in the next 5 years with tech stocks, 100%. I believe in diversifying, and I do diversify, but I'm going to be quite honest with you. I am trying to get my hand in as many of these tech stocks right now that look like they're going to have a solid 5-10-year lifespan of what we can see right now. And fundamentally, a lot of them are really starting up right now, in the sense of like getting into some heavy quarterlies. Some of them aren't even in billion-dollar quarterly range, and there's a lot to look at and talk about. Let's get into it. Friends, I hope you're doing well. So this coming week, obviously, we've got another week of earnings here. We've got some amazing stocks, reporting earnings here that are really going to tell us what's going on. Robinhood is going to be telling their quarterly, SoFi, UPS, that's going to be pretty interesting. Starbucks, that's going to be really, really interesting for all the drama last year. You got MasterCard this week. There's a lot going on here. So very excited. The majority of it starts Tuesday the 29th. And so here's what I want to say. There's articles coming out right now. Now that Palantir, let's go right into Palantir first. Now that Palantir is about to release quarterlies here, there's a lot of these analysts coming out and they're finally breaking. I would say about this time last year, there was still a lot of things up in the air with Palantir where, these firms, these investors were coming out and saying like, hey, I don't think Palantir is going to keep coming out with these quarterlies that are 30, 40, over 40% on top of the last ones anymore. This is probably going to slow down. And that probably would have been true if we did not enter into this new dimension of where we are right now. So, with that, obviously, we've got, and I don't want to sound like a broken record here, but you need to see the broad picture of what's going on here so you can see the minute details of what you need to be a part of right now in this market. In the situation of what it is right now is that Trump has no secret, there's no secret about it, that he is spending god amounts of money on tech, security, defense, and obviously a lot of that is just, tech is essentially, tech at this point is not like, we're going to make our internet better. Yeah, we're really pushing into graphic design. We're not really, when we talk about tech, besides NVIDIA at this point, NVIDIA's kind of shifting things here a little bit too. Essentially, when we talk about tech, I think people immediately go to, defense, security. And that's really where Palantir has really focused a lot of attention too with their software, what they offer. So, in the next 5 years, I put this little thing up here so you can read a little bit about it, but it's kind of giving you, what people are thinking out there. So Palantir in the next handful of years could easily be $1 trillion market cap. I mean, easily. It's just unbelievable. By 2030 here, this could be, easy. And these aren't my words. These are out here in these articles. These are coming out from, firms where they're saying that, Dan Ives alone, for God's sakes, that Palantir could be producing $5 billion per quarterlies. That's crazy. That's cuckoo. Now, that's really going to make, that's where that $1 trillion market cap's going to come up here. And by that time, if say 5 years now, 2030, Trump will be out of office. We'll see if we went Democrat, we went Republican, who knows. But either way, it doesn't mean that, that Palantir's are going to be in trouble here, that they're going to lose business. Not whatsoever, okay? Palantir has made a pillar in this, in our government. I'm not even going to say the administration as hand right now, yes, but in the government, essentially, we like what they have. And, Palantir's been here with the Biden administration. Now they're really in here with the Trump administration. So thinking 5 years from now, we will have, by that time, if we're doing $5 billion quarterlies, we could be talking about Palantir producing another stock split on top of the one that we haven't even had yet. So let's say 2 years from now, let's say 2027, Palantir stock has ran up to, let's just push it to $500 to $800, okay? If they do keep doing what they're doing, producing these 40%, maybe 50, 55% quarterlies on top of each other, they're making about maybe, $2.5 billion quarterlies here. We're really pushing the limits here of imagination, but I think it's probably more true than not true. And then, the stock is going to be incredibly expensive. Palantir, we know what they're going to do. They're going to say, the stock's really expensive. We want to get it down, and we're going to do a stock split. So then right there, Palantir does a stock split. And then people that were holding, 10, 20, 30, 50, 100 shares, 1,000 shares of Palantir. Now, that's double, tripled where, however they slice it up with the split, maybe, 3 to 1, 2 to 1, who knows, maybe 5 to 1, it might be something really, really sweet. We'll see. But this is how people get rich in the market in a very short time. And then on top of that, like I said, going into 2030 here, really we'll be in a new administration by then. God knows where we'll be, technology, all that kind of stuff. That's really that could be another huge push for Palantir, where Palantir's come out with these even bigger quarterlies. The stock's rising once again. Now you're going into this second inferno with Palantir here. By 2030, you've got double, triple your amount of shares, and it's starting all over again. It says push and push and push and pushing, and you're making more money than you ever thought was humanly possible with you as a person. Listen, friends, you don't have to have graduated from college, Harvard, a big school. You can do this stuff. You got a GED, dropout, whatsoever. It's just amount of following where the money is going. This is how people radically change their life in the market. I'm telling you, we've already been through some really good situations with Palantir. It can get a lot sweeter from here on out. It can get a lot sweeter, and I think it's going to. I don't really know of anybody right now that is really betting against Palantir. The only negative that I'm seeing out there with Palantir, people are going, well, it's got to slow down a little bit here. Well, I would say that if they were not a part of this administration so hot and heavy, and Trump was not directing where he was spending money. They just passed essentially almost $1 trillion defense bill. Okay, listen, it's only been 8 months. Trump can still come out and spend more money, do another big bill. And I do think within the next 6 months from now, we're going to start to hear and see more where that money is being spent. And don't be shocked to see Palantir get some more big deals here to really just blow people's mind even more. So looking at this candlestick chart right now with Palantir, essentially we're just going to say it. We're in 160. I mean, we've been short just pennies at this point. So Friday, Palantir was really pushing, trying to get in that 160 zone. More than likely, it's going to happen this coming week, if not the quarterly week. But 160 here essentially has been achieved in this Q2. Now, obviously, I suspect that quarterlies will come out and people will take some profit, but on that's where people are going to get fooled, because people will sell out, they'll take their profit, but I would say that we're definitely never going to see Palantir under $100 again. There's too much money wrapped in up at this point for it to probably ever touch $100 again. That's the reality of what we're looking at right now. Back in April, that was it. That was the one done. Bye-bye. We're done. We're never going to see the $60, $80, $90 position again. It's done. Palantir here is it's looking for $200, no doubt about it. And I think it's going to find it within this quarterly range of Q4 to wrap up the year. Essentially, between every quarterly here with Palantir, we're moving almost in the 20, 25, almost $30 range. Even that can really break that record if we hit high 60s this week. So by Q3 here, already going past Q2 here, we obviously more than likely will be in a situation where Palantir has acquired more deals. We know more about what's going on with them and working with government, other partnerships. We could definitely be seeing Q3 being worked up into a $180 position. No doubt about it. And by Q4, let's just say Palantir is still blowing expectation. Everybody's going like, oh my God, what is going on over here? Palantir will probably be in a $200 range. I don't think it's that crazy. I really don't. You have to look at where this is going right now. So I just wouldn't miss the boat on this. If somebody's telling you it's too expensive, I get it's too expensive. But what you're having to buy the hype. You're having to buy the what could be. You're having to buy, well, I missed out. You're having to buy, well, I guess I just need to be a part of this because it's going to go up more. And that's the situation that's happening here. So like I was saying, I don't know if I finished it, but when we do see Palantir dip here, and we're never going to see it dip below $100, more than likely, I would probably be willing to bet here, we're going to see Palantir push up into quarterlies. People will probably take some profit because it's probably going to hit crazy numbers. And then we're going to see it dip to a new level. And maybe that new level is right in the 150, high 140s. And that's it. That's it. That may be low as we're going. Maybe a high 130. Who knows? But from there on, it will start building out this next staircase into 170, 180. No doubt about it. It's going to get a lot worse over here for Palantir if you're not a part of it. I'm going to go and tell you that right now. These quarterlies, I'm almost thinking that Palantir is going to leapfrog into a $1 billion quarterly here, where it's going to shock people, kind of like what Robinhood did last year. Well, really this year, but Q4, where it just went from making really good money, like, whoa, to just leapfrogging into a huge over $1 billion quarterly. This year, if it's going to happen, this is the year where Palantir is just going to leapfrog into the $1 billion pool. No doubt about it. What we're watching here is, it doesn't make sense, but sometimes it doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't make sense, but then it does make sense when you look at the broad view going into the details of what we're watching right now. It's a part of this administration. It's a part of the government in general. It's working with NATO. It's working with many different partnerships. Palantir they're still working on their technology, and they're pushing it, for God's sakes. We more than likely could be in a situation by 2030 where we see Palantir coming out with $5 billion quarterlies. That's crazy. Okay. And of course, there's going to be people out there going, that's impossible. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. That's fine. I totally get it. Listen, I've been here since Palantir was a $7, $10 stock, and I get everyone's like, it doesn't make sense mathematically. Palantir can't keep getting deals. Well, I would yell against that. I'll be the guy in the crowd yelling, because just this bill that, this big, beautiful bill that Trump got passed here, you have to understand how much money is wrapped up in that deal. Not that Palantir is going to get $1 trillion of it, but they're going to get portions of it. And even portions for a company that still has so much room to grow, hasn't even produced $1 billion quarterly yet that we're aware of. It might be coming here next week. We're going to see Palantir really take on more money, more contracts. It's going to happen. And that's why I really don't want to go. I'm not breaking down, a candlestick chart here. I'm showing you what I have here on this candlestick chart. But essentially, Palantir is going to keep going here. And don't be fooled. If there's someone out there saying, well, I'm not going to pay 160, 170 for Palantir, you'll pay for it. I know you're going to pay for it, because Palantir's going to come out with quarterlies here that are probably going to be smoking. And they're probably going to pick up more deals, and things are going to get even more ridiculous. And people pay for it. People are going to pay $200 for it. They're going to pay for it. And Palantir, nonetheless, is still going in. It's going to be going in more ETFs, mutual funds, things like that. So the money train is just it's just starting its trip here into Palantir land. Friends, I'm telling you, just don't kid yourself with it. And just touching on Big Bear again, I talked about Big Bear a lot yesterday, but I want to say this, friends, before I say anything else with Big Bear. Talking about, this is really where I'm looking at Big Bear right now. And I want to say this, that, Big Bear still 100% is not a guaranteed play throughout maybe a short-term situation here. Now, in that short term that I'm talking about, particularly right now, I still think there's a lot of volatility with, bad and good volatility, where we're going to have moments of shooting up, take your money, get back in when you need to, because that's how it's being played right now. But two, we're waiting on something here with Big Bear. And that waiting essentially is another deal, okay? So much of what I said, parts of what I said with Palantir, it kind of filters right into Big Bear, with that big, beautiful deal that Trump passed, as he says. There's a lot of money wrapped up in there with defense, and Big Bear already having these contracts with our United States government defense sectors here. I suspect they will get more. The one thing that really drives home the comfort right now with me with Big Bear is the fact that we are undoubtedly seeing the second staircase be built here into this $7, $8, $9 range. $7 essentially achieved. Like I said, last week here, we only touched $6 one time. The week before, we were in and out of $6. So what we did this week and what we really saw Big Bear filter in enough money to keep it at this high, $7 position, middle $7 position, and really teeter-totter in $8, which is fantastic, because essentially we're building these strong pillars of money right now where we're getting into new numbers here. It's continuing. It's continuing. Monday, we shot up to almost $9 with Big Bear. And then, the sell-off came. People took their money. They stayed out of it. Wednesday, Trump had his whole talk in D.C. about defense, essentially tech, defense, wanting to be the best. And, I really do believe that Trump he's not messing around. He's not joking, because, whether you like him, you don't like him, when he says something essentially like that, he is going to do it. We're already seeing it. And this administration is focusing a lot of attention on tech, defense. And you know what? Big Bear is 100% wrapped up in that conversation right now. So I'm not going to be the one to not be a part of what's going on over there with it. I think there is so much more that we are going to see be unveiled here with a lot of tech stocks. I do think too, Big Bear obviously stands all the chance to get another deal here. Partnership maybe with just some other random company that wants their software. Even if not, just keep pushing into these airline deals. Fantastic, great. That's money they don't have that they need. But two, I think this aroma in the market right now with tech stocks is going to linger for a long time. Tech stocks, last year was a huge clue that, okay, we're seeing something we haven't seen before, with software, tech, chip. There's a huge want for it, and it's not stopping. It's actually getting a more demand. This year, I think a lot of people went like, well, I think we're going to see some things kind of slow down a little bit. NVIDIA can't keep coming out with these numbers. Palantir can't keep beating these quarterlies at such a fast rate. It's impossible. Well, I wouldn't be so sure about that. I wouldn't be so sure about that, because we're seeing it more than we thought at this point. Google, my God, Google, the quarterlies they just released. This conversation can go right into Tesla. This is why, when I meet people out in like friends, family, whatnot, talking to someone, that run into whatever, people always ask me, they're like, if they know that I invest in the market, they always say, where should I, what's something that I should be putting my money into for the next, let's say 10 years, if I can put $100 in something for the next 10 years, what should it be? And those, and I'll say well, what are you looking for? Like, are you wanting like a dividend? Are we talking like mutual funds, ETFs, REIT stocks? Crypto, for God's sakes. What are you wanting out of your investment? What do you? And people always say like, I want something really cool that's like, this or that. But recently I had somebody say like, I want something that's like very mixed in with software, tech, maybe like robots, and just kind of but it's already like a solid company. And immediately I was like, Tesla. And Tesla is something that I put money into every week. I don't care if Tesla's $400 or it's $200. I'm gonna put money into it because I am betting heavily right now, and Elon Musk is telling us that the next few quarterlies with Tesla are going to be probably not good. So hopefully, but more than not likely, the stock will not drop. It'll keep going up because a lot of people are thinking what I'm thinking, and is that 5 years from now, Tesla is going to be in a whole new stream of revenue, because not only will they be selling cars again, they're still selling cars, but they'll still be selling cars. They'll be selling Optimus, the robot. You've got the taxi situation and all the other little stuff that Tesla's a part of here. And who knows, Elon might unveil something else. That's one thing I can say about Tesla. Tesla is obviously had separation from this administration, but Tesla, my God, is going to do unbelievable numbers. I don't know why I'm saying this, but it reminded me. Somebody asked me that the other day, and I was like, dude, I would put all your money, like something like that, in Tesla. Just start buying it. 5-10 years from now, you're going to be like, thank God I did this. Friends, I'm going to shut up now. Listen, I'm so excited about what we're going into in this market. There's a thing with the market. It's fun to obviously make money. It's fun to make money, but it's fun too to invest in, see your investments do really well, to go, when something works, you go, oh my God, it's working. Like, I was right about that. I followed the clues. I solved the puzzle. It's working. It's a fantastic feeling when you're in the market and those things happen. It's an amazing aroma in your life. So I want that for everybody. I really do. Friends, take care of yourself. I'll talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.